4 years ago, I made a video called The Fall of Bleach, How It Happens. At the time, I'd been making videos for about half a year and had a tiny audience. And that's why it was such a shock when at a party, a friend told me that the Bleach video I had uploaded earlier that day had been watched by 20,000 people. I was happy. The video was a big step forward for me in terms of writing, editing, telling a story, and it went on to be the third most viewed video on my entire channel with over 3 million views. But there was a problem. The information that story was based on was wrong. Initially, the reaction was really positive. Even Bleach fans seemed to appreciate the video.
This is because people listen to YouTubers and just go, yeah, you make a lot of good points, and I'm not going to think any further than what you just told me.
Yeah, basically, that's what we were like back then. Because I remember thinking like, yeah, this is a good video. Look at this. Oh, Bleach sucks because of all this stuff. Look at this art. Then thinking about like, wait a second. No.
But over time, that started to change. People started to point out glaring mistakes in the Fall of Bleach, and while I waved it off as people being angry on the internet at first, eventually I was...
No, you should not come in with that mindset. You should have been like, a word, there's mistakes, and you should have looked into it. Out the gate. You gotta have more confidence in... I don't know. It's a very weird thing, because if somebody would just go, hey, because we get that all the time.
Yeah.
We screwed up.
And then we try to explain ourselves, but if we do think they're correct and we screwed up, we go, oh, wow. We did, like I say, during the Super Broly, I talked about, why didn't Frieza go to New Namek instead of Earth where Goku and them is, and who people that can stop him. And then someone just went, well, he doesn't know where New Namek is. And I went, that person is correct. You are 100% correct.
Yeah, and just like when we, in DBZ Ram's video, we were like, oh, how do souls age and everything? We looked up like, okay, no, there are answers for it. We just didn't have it. And then we talked about why it was stupid further.
And at first, eventually, I was left with...
Speaking of that, did you see the dude commenting, talking about Soul Society has a plan and all this crap for House Soul so it doesn't over factor and all this? Because at some point, the scales would have to tip one way or the other.
Absolutely, because
either too many souls or too many people in the living world.
Yeah, especially since it's a reincarnation thing, and souls can be born into the Soul Society,
as well as humans making a crap ton of kids.
And you get reincarnated both when I guess you get chosen to reincarnate and when you die as a soul. Like a soul, they said a soul reaper when they die go back into reincarnation.
Yep.
So,
and he's like, well, they have hollows and stuff, and I'm like, so Soul Society's plan is either allow them to be hollows to purify them, execute them, or send them to hell. Doesn't that sound super evil?
Yeah.
And he's like, as I said, they have plans to, and I'm just like, you're not even listening.
And how do they rebalance the scales when a Quincy just straight up kills one?
That's why they don't want it.
You can't make a new soul. It's all about reincarnation. It's a circle. So you're always going to be in a negative when.
And the reincarnation thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going.
No. I'm just saying. You're always going to be in the negative when since we theoretically, I don't know if we can or can't create a new soul, but when a Quincy kills one, you're always just going to be in the negative, so it's never going to be balanced.
And it makes no sense in reincarnation because the rate to which humans have grown, how many more humans there are in the world compared to like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, blah, 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 blah. Unless Soul Society is pumping out so many in kids, it makes no sense.
Yeah, there should just be like, there should just be a whole line of people just getting reincarnated. But we never see that because the rate of, isn't it something like a baby is born every minute or something?
Yeah, there was that video we always watch, and it's just like every 17 minutes or something.
Yeah, so, it should be, we should be seeing a lot more people reincarnating.
We should see a lot more souls in Soul Society.
being angry on
Either or.
the internet at first. Eventually, I was left with the uncomfortable reality that I had fucked up. And I've talked about this
Big
on
time.
It shouldn't be uncomfortable. Everybody makes mistakes.
Oh, really?
You
own.
Oh,
We can't escape them. You cannot be serious.
oh, you are 100% serious. Hey, GB, how you doing, boo? Come here, girl.
This is unbelievable.
But isn't it so believable? Hey, GB, how you doing, puppy?
I literally said that was gonna happen.
There was no other option. But Armran. Oh, we don't know because we have to see his video. But based on the 4 years later video, there wasn't a lot you debunked because you were also very wrong in things.
Yeah. Let's see. Give me a second. With this. Oh, YouTube, you're so sucky today.
Yeah, of course.
Where is it? Looking for. I should have just went to most viewed.
Yeah, you
First
really
big
should have.
viewed. There it is. Ruined reputation. Please show the good comment. Not the yes. YouTube's back. So yeah, addressing the Fall of Bleach was a full 10 minutes of what you put into the description for time stamps, and the rest are just explorations of the arcs. So yeah, there wasn't too much debunking. It was just more of, I guess, explaining the arcs and what they mean and what they do and what they
Maybe
stand
that
for
in
and-
itself is the debunking of what Wolf is talking about.
Maybe.
Twitter, in other videos, and in the description of that video, but there would always be people telling me that I needed to remake The Fall of Bleach. And the thing that pisses me off most about these people is that I agree with them. The Fall of Bleach was
I'm glad you
built on
didn't put the words on the screen.
Either way,
Very YouTube thing.
shut up.
That's fine.
No, I'm mad because I agree I need to remake. Shut up. Just remake the video.
a simple idea that the magazine Weekly Shonen Jump ranks its series by order of popularity in its table of contents based on reader surveys. And when I charted Bleach's table of contents position over 10 years, I noticed a trend as Bleach went from the third most popular position to gradually falling all the way to the back of the magazine before being cancelled in 2016. My video charting how the decline in quality of Bleach's story correlated that trend. There's two huge problems here. The first being the idea that the Shonen Jump table of contents reflects the reader's surveys is a heavily circulated piece of misinformation with no definitive evidence to substantiate it. Sure, it's possible that a negative response to Bleach in the reader's surveys could have pushed it to the back of the magazine, but it's equally possible that Jump wanted to take Bleach, one of its most popular series, and put it to the back to incentivize readers to read all the way through the magazine, bringing eyes to lesser known series.
I don't believe so, because they would just skip those series.
Potentially, but you could just skim through and just go, oh, look at this hot lady or this awesome dude, and just go into it. But yeah, when making that original video, he should have said based upon these sources, or it appears that it was very factual in what he was saying, and that was, I think, one of the biggest problems.
It was very factual, quote unquote, without any facts to back it up.
Yeah, it was very, I know what I'm talking about here.
The point is, we don't know. It's a decision made by the editor-in-chief, but the logic behind it is not available to the public. The second is the idea that Bleach was cancelled. This became another heavily circulated piece of misinformation when
Yeah, I don't know why you even said that ever.
Yeah, it was very weird. He said it was so definitively as
Such
well.
conviction.
announced to be ending in just 5 chapters, which caused a lot of speculation given how abrupt it seemed and created an interesting narrative when combined with the misinformation about the rankings. But again, there was never any confirmation of this. It likely had much more to do with Tite Kubo's exhaustion after writing a manga for 15 years, as well as his declining health. And even Kubo himself later stated in an interview how he ended the series how he wanted to. So, first thing we need to address, did Bleach actually fall in popularity? Well, our best indication of that is in its sales figures. If we look back at Bleach's yearly sales, we can see it topped 6 million units in 2009 before a pretty steep decline, bottoming out at around 2 million units in 2016. But yearly sales estimates can be misleading, so what do the volume sales say? We can see here that Bleach's volume sales peak at volume 37, selling 800,000 copies, before a similar decline kicks in, leaving its final volume sales at just over half that at 440,000 copies. There's still a little room for error here, so I want to look at how Bleach was performing compared to other massively popular series of this time. And we can see that in this data table, where you can see why they were called the Big Three. One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach selling dramatically more than any other manga.
Bleach sold 900,000 more than Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, that's not dramatically at all. It's a fair amount.
Even Naruto just 1.4 times. Bleach and Naruto combined was not equal to One Piece. One Piece sold dramatically more than everything else.
Yeah, this isn't dramatically more. It's a fair amount more. It's Gintama's so close, and Hitman as well. Ew, Hitman.
I hear Hitman's actually pretty
Why
good.
don't you read it?
I will.
Coward.
I have it.
Coward.
I have it. Thank you, Shonen Jump app, for a lot of the manga I'm reading. And other sources.
Just in Jump, but in the world. Before Bleach begins a pretty dramatic fall, disappearing from the top 10 in 2012, eventually landing at position 22 in 2016. It is impossible to take all these figures into account and credibly argue that Bleach didn't have a significant decline in popularity. But if that's the case, then what's the problem with that original video?
Pause. Go back a little bit. Because Attack on Titan was going like 9 mil, 11 mil. What about the advert of the digital manga like DBZ Ram was talking about?
Yeah, it
Haikyuu,
almost beat One Piece at one
Haikyuu,
point.
Tokyo Ghoul, Kuroko no Basket. They're all doing Bleach numbers in 2014.
What?
Bleach numbers, what Bleach was doing in like 2009.
What? Huh?
They're doing those numbers
No,
in
they're not.
2014.
Nope.
So that was just false in that video.
Nope. Even 2015, 7 mil doing more Haikyuu. That's not possible.
Okay.
Okay, just making sure you know.
With that original video. And the problem is that this is a gross misrepresentation of that decline. And because I believed it, that combined with my own personal disappointment in Bleach led to me making claims that were insubstantial at best and straight up misinformation at worst. But the
Absolutely.
much bigger
Very
problem
grown up of you to admit that. It was a very
Grimy.
clear bias, and you admitted it. Very good.
is that I didn't correct those mistakes soon enough. When I checked the video stats earlier this year, it was still getting thousands of views a week, meaning it was still spreading that misinformation. And in hindsight, I should have done this a long time ago, and for that, there is no excuse. And so, to my audience, to the people who love Bleach, and hell, to Tite Kubo, each one of you deserve better than you got from me here. And I'm sorry. That is the most important thing I'm going to say this video. Now what I want to do is re-evaluate Bleach in its entirety. And I gotta say, it was a strange, nostalgic feeling rereading the first couple of chapters, and I had to wonder what I would now make of this legendary series, Eyes Unclouded by Hate. And I was shocked to discover it's still bad! Woo! You lose again, Bleach fans! You lose again! Okay, no, I'm just fucking around. Kinda. We'll get there. But before we do, I want to shout out DBZ Imran's video on
It's your boy. back again.
Follow him on Twitter.
Bleach, in which he addresses some of the flaws in my original video. This video being a way more positive take on Bleach than you're going to get here, and while I don't agree with a lot of the conclusions he comes to about the quality of Bleach's story, he's a cool guy and you should totally follow him if you're into Bleach. And I hope by mentioning this, it's
if you're into Bleach, because he's a big Bleach monster.
He is a Bleach monster. If you are into Bleach, follow that man. He is constantly posting analysis.
You're gonna get what you want.
Unfortunately, a lot of his stuff is very tangentially not good. It's not for me.
taken as a sign of good faith that I don't consider my own viewpoints on Bleach as one of some omnipotent super being whose every whim reflects an indisputable truth. Rather, I am just an awkward little square person with an opinion as valid and flawed as the next humans, but one who just so happens to have repeatedly tumbled ass backwards up YouTube mountain by complete accident, with a follower count which, oh Jesus, fills me with an existential anxiety I can only express through this gif from Indiana Jones where a magical cup melts a man's face off. And with that in mind, let's begin. One of the criticisms I regret most in that original video is the idea that Bleach's art gets worse. Bleach's style does change over the course of its run, starting as a looser, more playful style before evolving into something more rendered and moody.
He could have talked about how the art itself matured, just like the subtext of the...
Yeah. But no, he couldn't, because he would have to admit that there was subtext beyond the Soul Society arc, which there wasn't. It was just that one.
I guess you're correct.
But yeah, it's odd because he would have had to knowingly cherry pick a bunch of scenes.
Yeah, he would have had to go through them and go, okay, I remember this bad. At best, he went, I remember this bad panel. I remember this bad chapter or this bad page.
And then let me go get another one that's teeming with life and blah, 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 as opposed to something else. But yeah, he would have to do that while he's making that video and knowing that he's being very disingenuous about it.
Does fit the more serious tone of later Bleach, and if Kubo doesn't want to illustrate a lot of backgrounds, who gives a shit? Whether it's chapter 6 or 600, the idea that
I love that
Yeah,
panel. That was good.
And the one with Kamiyami was pretty good too.
Kubo's artwork gives you anything to complain about is insane. He's able to render battles with an explosive level of impact.
But he just showed bad stuff, and when you show bad stuff, of course you're like, yeah, this is bad. And you're gonna have people believing that is bad when you only show that, because people who are reading it are just going. If you were towards the end falling off of Bleach, you see that, you go, yeah, that is pretty bad, as opposed to the earlier stuff.
It'd be like going into the My Hero chapter where they were doing the school music crap, and it's like, well, they couldn't meet the deadline without not inking these things, and it looks really, really bad. And just going, look at how the art declined over time. It's just not a fair comparison.
Spectacle, while also able to imbue his characters with a really subtle sense of emotion. Kubo's a master
But faces!
expressing visually who these people are, and particularly through their clothing. Take the 13 Soul Society captains.
The black guy in the back with the star fro
And the tracksuit.
Who is he? What does he represent? I don't remember his character at all.
I don't think old girl in the glasses was too much of like a schoolgirl.
Lisa. I remember Lisa. I like Lisa. I don't remember her personality at all. What about the boxer dude?
I think she was a bookworm.
I remember her being strict. I don't know why I like her, but I do. I don't remember the boxing dude. I don't remember the big dude in the back. Big dude in the back was just kind of calm.
Yeah, he was a calm, cool, collected type dude.
Little girl was playful. I remember that dude had a piano.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
He had like a piano bankai.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a personality? Does
think-
that count?
Take the 13 Soul Society captains, all of whom wear the same basic uniform, but each have altered it in some way with these little touches that are so subtle but so expressive. There's one page where he just uses...
I agree with you for most of them. Wolf Dude is nothing. He got like a collar.
Soifon, also fairly nothing.
Her lieutenant, fairly nothing. It doesn't tell you anything about these characters. It's just a different way to wear their outfit. Dude with the straw hat is very flowery and stuff. You can take a lot about his personality from that.
You could
Old
say
girl
like
with the boobs.
Yukataki.
Oh, yeah. She's very flirtatious. Got that open. That makes sense. Kenpachi is all ripped up. He's a fighting man. That makes sense. But somebody like a little ice dude. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Hisugaya.
Hisugaya. It's just a different way that he wears it. So it's not all of them that correlates to the people. It's just different ways to wear the same outfit, which is good. But it doesn't always speak to their personality or who they are.
There's one page where he just uses tiny close-ups of different captains' outfits to identify them.
I recognize her from her hair, and Soifon's thing from her hair.
Yeah. It took me a second to figure out who that was on top.
And immediately you know who they are just from
Pause.
how...
Wait a second. Who's that? Is that Wolf?
Yes.
I gotta take your word on that.
The bottom left is Yukataki. The bottom right, it's either the Doctor or Kenpachi. I got everybody else, though.
Impressive these little details are, and this goes double for Ichigo and his friends. Part of the appeal of Bleach is that these characters are not just kids like in other shonen series, but are teenagers.
What do you mean by other shonen series?
One Piece
are
teenagers.
all teenagers.
Or adults. Yu Yu Hakusho is all teenagers or 1,000-year-old demons.
Hunter x Hunter is 3 teenagers, and I think Leorio's in his 20s.
Early 20s, I believe.
Who cares?
Hunter x Hunter, Bleach, Naruto, all teenagers or at least preteens. After the teens,
teenagers.
Dragon Ball, teenagers.
Flame of Record, teenagers. Ippo, teenagers. What is he talking about?
Ice Shield, teenagers. Slam Dunk, teenagers. Tokyo Ghoul, teenagers.
Attack on Titan, teenagers.
JoJo's, teenagers.
So we got Hunter x Hunter.
No, Hunter x Hunter, teenagers.
No, I think Gone is 12, and Killer was like 13.
Teenagers.
12 isn't a teenager, sir.
No, I'm talking about Killua.
Yeah, but you can still say Gone as a teenager. I mean, a kid. It counts.
Then you might as well say Naruto too, because most of them are 12.
Yeah, we'll go to the beginning of Naruto.
This is nonsense.
Yeah, there are a lot. From what I know, there are a lot more teenagers as opposed to
Dr.
kids.
Stone, teenagers.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, there's a lot more teenagers than kids from what I know.
Kubo communicates this beautifully through the clothing they wear. You can feel the fashion of the early 2000s in each character design and splash page. And it was stylish and cool, but critically, it visually communicated the idea of adolescence. And that was the appeal of Ichigo. He wasn't a boundless spring of shonen optimism.
No, pause. He can't just say it's good because it looks cool. Because it does. And that's fine to say.
Yeah, it's some cool looking...
No, he has to give it something extra. Give it a little more spice by going, it represents adolescence or whatever. You can't. It's fine to just say this is good. This is something that I will accept. Yo, this is pretty fly. And that's all I need
a fly
to say.
outfit, dude.
Ichigo.
That's all you need.
Boundless spring of shonen optimism. He had a
Optimism? What? He's fairly apathetic for the most part.
bad attitude and a short temper, especially in this one page where he expresses his disdain for the systematic authority of his school and teachers, his willingness to fight corrupt systems becoming a much bigger deal later in the story. But he was also just...
So his goal was to fight corrupt systems? Does he have a goal now then, or...?
a lot of fun to watch, especially when these zanier characters bounced off him, like Orihime. I forgot how hilarious she is in the earlier chapters, but this drawing of herself in the future is maybe one of my favorite.
I laughed so f***ing hard when I was rereading Bleach. This
She's
made
really
me laugh so f***ing hard.
She's really good. she's got some good moments in the Fullbring arc as well.
Everybody's pretty good. Everybody's really good. Dude, beginning of Bleach is amazing.
But it's just when they get into the fighting and all that stuff where you just, it just sort of drains you like, oh no.
Even Soul Society doesn't drain you because even while you're getting into the fighting, you're still getting so much of the wackiness and zaniness throughout either the fight itself or in between the fights. Hueco Mundo what happened with Bleach was it got too serious. And it stopped being fun.
Panels in the entire manga. After some supernatural hijinks cause Ichigo to inherit the powers of Rukia, a soul reaper, basically samurai grim reaper, he's tasked with hunting and killing hollows, monstrous undead beings who feed on the souls of the living and dead.
Oh my goodness!
And
Why are you
this leads him to a
explaining
battle
this?
with
If we saw the first video, we're familiar with Bleach.
But he unlisted it.
No, but it had been there for 5 years and had over 3 million views.
And
We got it. We don't need all
leads him
these summaries. We don't need to know what a hollow is. We know.
the living and dead. And this leads him to a battle with his first big enemy, Grand Fisher, as it's revealed that Grand Fisher is far more dangerous than the other hollows, but is also responsible for the death of Ichigo's mother, who died trying to protect him, a trauma that Ichigo has never recovered from, giving this fight a real emotional weight, as he's not just
Okay. YouTuber analysis, people. I am tired of the word wait. It don't mean nothing.
Yeah, it does. It's weight. It's strong. You know what I'm saying?
It's used to go, so it has more impact or something, or it means more. Somebody on Twitter said to me, thematic weight. Huh? Tired of the word wait.
fighting a scary monster, but his own inability to overcome his own grief. Grand Fisher mocking Ichigo with the image of his deceased mother. And the really sad part is Ichigo doesn't even win. Grand Fisher escapes, and this is the moment I started to really love Bleach.
Boy, you must love Amazing Spider-Man.
He really should have been a recurring villain or something, or Ichigo should have overcome him at a certain point.
Or his kid overcomes him.
Yeah, but he just doesn't. Doesn't his dad just go, "Hey, you killed my wife," and then just kills him?
I think so.
I think that happened right after Soul Society.
Because grief isn't just something you can overcome in a single instant, and Ichigo's failure to defeat Grand Fisher is a fantastic expression of that. This is the core.
The chapter directly after this is more hijinks.
I was about to say, isn't this sort of like the theme of grief? So were you wrong when he went, only the Soul Society has themes or something?
No, subtext.
Well, this is subtext of themes.
Subtext of grief or whatever.
Yeah, did I say subtext of themes?
You absolutely did. What is with your mouth?
Ichigo's character, his inability to escape his own grief, and how that fuels his desire to protect the people he loves. And it's that motivation that drives Ichigo through the first major story arc.
No, it should drive him through all the arcs because he no longer is able to do that and he's real sad about it. And everybody can sense he's sad about it. Also, we might actually be able to finish this. The ratio's going pretty fast.
Of Bleach, the Soul Society. After spending 2 months in the world of the living, Rukia is captured by 2 extremely powerful Soul Reapers and charged with the crime of transferring her powers to a human, sentenced to death in just 1 month. With Ichigo and his band of supernaturally powered teenagers attempting to save Rukia by launching an invasion on Soul Society, entering a dangerous new world defined by a rigid hierarchy with rules that feel cold and unfair. And if that isn't a damn near perfect analogy for being a teenager and
pause. Oh my goodness. Rules that feel cold and unfair. You did an illegal thing and are now going to be punished for it. Seems pretty fair to me.
If anything, the punishment itself is unfair.
Yeah.
But no, she knows it's death. He knows that's a deathable offense.
adult society for the first time, I don't know what is.
And he
The
goes
real
back to that. He thought that point was so great that he had to do a redo on it.
So and succinct.
My goodness.
beauty of this arc, however, comes from the Soul Reapers themselves, and that's because of how well developed they are, both as an organization and as a community of people. The Soul Reapers
Community? What is their commerce?
Again, it's looking very plain, but maybe that's the point.
are made up of 13 different squads, each led by a vice captain and captain. Vice captains being powerful warriors, each possessing their own sword with its own special ability known as Shikai, and captains being dramatically more powerful, having access to Bankai, spectacular, ultra-powerful techniques unique to each sword. And it's just a lot of fun discovering what each captain and lieutenant can do, and creates a tremendous sense of escalation, as each
But you said escalation was a negative with Hueco Mundo in comparison.
Because it was.
Also,
Now it's good.
All the Bleach arcs have people doing that we ain't never seen before.
The Iran cars have their own little Bankai where they activate a whole special form or a special ability.
goes from fighting regular foot troops to vice captains all the way to captains, which are depicted as these terrifying behemoths, massively powerful and nearly impossible for Ichigo and his friends to overcome, creating an incredible
Uryu overcame one. Ichigo overcame two and a vice. Chad didn't. Chad sucks. And he went up against the number 2 dude in the entire organization. Yeah, they're beaten pretty handily if you think about it.
amount of tension and drama whenever one steps onto the battlefield. But even more than that, the reason 13 Court Guard works so well as villains is because they kind of don't feel like villains at all. There are monsters among them, but most just feel like people. The series taking the time to develop their history, motives, drives, and most importantly, relationships. Pick any two members of Soul Society and chances are you'll be able to draw a kind of social spiderweb of interlinking relationships connecting the two. And it's these relationships
Ikaku and Gain.
Who's Ikaku?
Bald dude.
Oh,
Or Ikaku and Blind dude.
that are at the heart.
I'm sure somebody could.
Hey, Armran, please, comments.
Take the captain of Squad 7, Komamura, and the captain of Squad 9, Tosin.
Well, that's not fair because they're friends, and that's his entire that's Wolf Guy's entire backstory. That's not fair. Dude, come on, that's too easy.
Komamura, being deeply ashamed of his bestial appearance, hides his face from the world, but he's found comfort in his bond with Tosin, a blind swordsman who doesn't
Okay, but that's not 4 degrees removed. That's literally
that's directly there.
care what anyone looks like. And it's really sweet, but there are so many little relationships like this. Childhood friends, rivals, drinking buddies, unrequited lovers.
Why was she a baby?
A tremendous amount of time spent developing these characters and
She's
their
a sword.
relationships. And it's from this that the battles of the Soul Society draw their emotion. And you can see this especially halfway through the arc when Ichigo faces Renji Aburai, one of the Soul Reapers responsible for capturing Ruki.
That's his name, by the way.
I don't think it is.
I don't see why. When we say Naruto, it's sort of like a dragon Naruto, but we know it's Naruto, and we can say it, but it's the black scent, just sort of the lazy tongue just going Naruto. It's just sort of like a breath going out. This is just an incorrect saying of his name, very incorrect.
Now it's different from something like Tight and Taite Kubo, where we don't hear his name a lot.
Yeah, but listen to the dub or the sub. and they're not going to say Abarai.
Svit.
This isn't video breaking or anything, but it's just he does this a lot.
Yeah.
A whole lot.
But the beautiful thing about this fight is
Journal.
Journal. Muff said journal.
it's not just a good guy versus a bad guy, as it's revealed that Renji and Rukia actually grew up together in one of Seoul Society's most violent criminal districts.
Where's that? What
Violent town.
like Crime Alley?
And learn to survive by forming a band of thieves with other children and eking out a life of impoverished happiness amidst the chaos.
Oh, there's
But
so many
as
questions.
the two grew older and
Oh, there's
closer,
fish. There's fish. Wait a second. We can't have fish.
That means there have to be like dogs, cats, insects.
So our soul society governing over the souls of fish?
Where's my fish kais?
Did they go, oh, they caught a fish and are now eating it, so we must stamp the approval of a reincarnation of a fish in another life? Wait a second, fish are born like 1 million at a time.
Correct. There's so many fish.
We can't do this. We're not supposed to think about the fish. The fish don't matter. That's what I'm seeing this
Okay,
as.
here's the thing. A lot of the stuff in Bleach doesn't matter. But don't say it's good.
What? I'd like to know what matters. What am I supposed to remember? How?
Look,
what is it linked to?
I legit do not think about the world building of Bleach.
Yeah.
Because to me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But once you say it good, I have to say, no, it's not. And it matters to me now. So now I got to look up all this information and this supplementary content to go, that's the world build. No, the world building within Bleach's pages is trash. It's not trash, but it's not very good.
Yeah, but what about Burn the Witch? Have you considered that? I win.
I'm Ran.
they lose each one of their friends to the violence around them, and so desperate to build a better
buried
life
there?
for each
When they die, do they still have bodies?
Yeah, I guess their souls would just, or maybe it's, I don't know.
Maybe
we're-
it's a representation of
Yeah,
this
I was just about to say that. But why would they dig
Why would they dig?
instead of just putting a stick in there?
them, and so desperate to build a better life for each other, join Soul Society as student Soul Reapers.
There's classes? So there's structure. So you have to learn. What do you need to learn to become a Soul Reaper?
Hollow, kill. Quincy, no, dude, no, don't.
What
They
Quincy's?
kill. They. Wait. There's a big group of them over there, but they didn't know about them.
No. Ishida is a Quincy.
There's
and
two of them that we need to keep an eye on.
I guess the Hakidos or whatever that is, the Hados or whatever those are.
The hollows, yes, you need to learn the hollows. And I guess I remember seeing them doing swordsmanship, but this is a straight class. There's no note taking or anything. So I guess they're just they just draw a big H. And what does this stand for, class?
Hado. Correct.
Hollow would also be acceptable.
But become separated when Rukia is adopted into a prestigious noble family headed by Byakuya. And
Why? No. Why are they a noble family?
Okay. Blood.
So I got into this conversation on Twitter. I said we know why they're the noble, the world, the celestial dragons are nobles in One Piece because they are the descendants of the people that helped create and shape the world. And somebody said, "Well, it's the same for Bleach," and I said, "Where does that take place? Read the novel."
Oh, that's a supplementary item. That's not. It's very important that Byakuya is a noble, but not important enough to show it in the actual manga. You need to read this thing that came out 3 years after the manga came out to learn about the nobles, you see.
Renji and Rukia's life together comes to an end.
Why?
Especially since he becomes the lieutenant of Byakuya's squad. Hey, whatever.
Yeah, why would their life come to an
I
end?
remember there was a reason.
The only thing I can think of is, them spending every day together comes to an end. Because she
Or
has
maybe-
to do all her nobles.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe she's getting like secret lessons only befitting a noble person.
Yeah, but at the same time, why can't they just go meet up and have a burger or a fish?
And also at the same time, at the beginning of the story, Rukia is just a foot soldier and Renji's a lieutenant. But she's...
Oh, that was Byakuya's influence, remember? He didn't want her getting too far up the ladder.
That was it.